Welcome back to Wrestling World. Today we'll be taking a look at some of the things that took place on this week's Raw, including Alexa Bliss and Retribution. Just a quick reminder to take a quick second to help us out by dropping a like on the video and subscribing if you're new. As usual, the Bray Wyatt and Alexa Bliss storyline left us with a lot to talk about and discuss. So let's dive into what's new with this story. We didn't get too much from Bray Wyatt and Alexa Bliss this week, but we were left with quite a lot to speculate about. The Moment of Bliss segment with Randy Orton opened up Raw this week. Alexa Bliss gave Randy Orton a proper introduction, and the way she was acting was very similar to what we've seen in the past from some of the Firefly Funhouse puppets. First thing you'll probably notice is that Alexa Bliss referred to Randy Orton as her favorite superstar. Was she being serious about that claim? Of course not. That's a line that Bray Wyatt's puppets have used a lot. That line most likely comes from Rambling Rabbit. He'll usually address whoever Bray Wyatt is feuding with and always refers to them as his favorite superstar. He did it during the Seth Rollins and Bray Wyatt feud and several other feuds. Ramblin' Rabbit always seems to be a big fan of whoever Bray Wyatt is facing. So it's interesting to see Alexa Bliss borrow that line from Ramblin' Rabbit and refer to Randy Orton as her favorite superstar. Randy Orton comes out and he obviously doesn't trust Alexa Bliss enough for him to just sit next to her, so he stands up for a majority of the interview. Orton provides some great backstory for his feud with Bray Wyatt from a few years ago. He mentioned how he had to find Bray Wyatt's weakness back then, and his weakness was that Wyatt family home. So once he found Bray Wyatt's weakness, he really went after it. That's why he did what he did with burning down the house. However, Orton claimed that he doesn't know The Fiend as much and has to find his weakness so that he can attack again. Now, this is something that WWE has teased. They teased the idea that The Fiend may have a weakness even earlier this year. We had all our theories and speculation. Some thought the weakness could relate to the red light in his matches, his mask, maybe something in the Firefly Funhouse. There just had to be something that served as his weakness or his source of power. We all assumed that we'll see that weakness exposed during The Fiend's first loss. But that never happened either. The Fiend lost to Goldberg, but no real weakness was put on display in that match. Then again, a lot of fans would like to forget that match ever happened, so we won't acknowledge that match. But it still left us with the question of what is The Fiend's weakness? Well, Randy Orton picked up on it pretty fast. He claimed that Alexa Bliss was The Fiend's weakness. Alexa still held her ground against Randy Orton, even standing up against him and getting in his face very seriously. But as the tension kept building, The Fiend saw enough and decided to make his entrance. Orton even bragged on being right about his weakness while The Fiend was on his way out. The Fiend comes out and Alexa Bliss is in Randy Orton's arms. Did Alexa jump into his arms? Did Randy Orton scoop her up? It's hard to tell because that all happened in the dark. But either way, The Fiend is extremely hesitant to attack Randy Orton since Alexa Bliss was in Orton's arms. Randy hands Alexa back to The Fiend and quickly gets out of the ring to close the segment. So that was quite interesting. The commentators also made it sound like it was a side to The Fiend that we never saw before, since he was so hesitant, basically begging Randy to put her down. The segment got a little bit of mixed reactions online, and understandably so. We understand the relationship and connection between Alexa and The Fiend, but it was still very strange to see The Fiend in such a vulnerable and begging state. Randy didn't even have Alexa in a threatening position, and The Fiend was still scared of what he might do to her. So, does it make The Fiend look soft? Is it out of character for him? Just from that moment alone, it did feel really weird to see The Fiend act like that. But we have to give the story some time to unfold. We don't know where this might go, but I do feel like Randy Orton is going to expose the weakness now that he truly knows what it is for sure. The same way he went after the house to destroy Bray Wyatt all those years ago, Orton may very well continue to threaten Alexa Bliss just to get The Fiend in that vulnerable state again and really break him down. So we'll have to see how Alexa Bliss plays a role in this story because it looks like she's going to play a key role here, since she's been exposed as the weakness to The Fiend. But let's talk about the other big moment from A Moment of Bliss, and that was the prop of the doll being locked inside the cage. Now, this very well could just be a prop for the segment, but I feel like there could be some good symbolism with that doll as well. So the first thing I thought of was, what if the doll is representing the real Alexa Bliss? Her old personality that has been basically thrown in a cage and trapped since she's been in this trance with The Fiend. That makes a lot of sense. The old Alexa Bliss that we've seen for all these past years is basically locked away and can't get out, similar to that doll inside the cage. It also brings up another idea I was thinking of. What if Alexa Bliss really is trapped and doesn't want to be with The Fiend? We've seen little hints of that heading all the way back to SmackDown a few months ago, where Alexa explained to Nikki that she didn't know what was going on and that she had no control over it. Then we had moments, especially the one in their match, where Alexa snaps out of the trance and she's looking at her gloves and attire like, what am I wearing? Where am I? She even cries in Nikki's arms at one point before snapping back into this trance. It appears that Alexa was only messing with Nikki Cross and pretending to snap out of it. But what if Alexa Bliss honestly was out of the trance there for those brief moments? What if that actually was the trapped version of Alexa Bliss that was able to get out for a quick second and cry out to Nikki for help? If that's true, then that changes everything. And once again, it relates to that doll in the cage, because that's what's going on with Alexa Bliss right now. She's trapped under whatever spell or trance with The Fiend and doesn't know how to get out of it. That's a really good concept, and I wouldn't mind seeing that being played out either, especially more down the line. Maybe the way Alexa Bliss leaves Bray Wyatt is by snapping out of this entire trance. So that would make for quite the interesting storyline as well, but we'll see how that plays out. Retribution played a big role in this week's show as well. Slapjack picked up the win over Ricochet. Ollie tried to recruit Ricochet, and Reckoning had her first match on Raw against Dana Brooke. Reckoning ended up losing that match and was scolded by Ollie after the match, since failure is not an option for Retribution. But the most talked about moment of the night was Reckoning's wardrobe issue. With only a few seconds into the match, Reckoning's mask flew right off her face. This obviously wasn't planned and was just a live mistake. She didn't go pick it back up from the floor and put it back on. She just continued to wrestle, and the commentators and Ollie never acknowledged the fact that she was completely barefaced and unmasked. It's a big deal, but at the same time, it's really not a big deal. Everyone knows that it's Mia Yim behind that mask and character, so it wasn't a huge shocking moment. WWE even acknowledged that Reckoning was Mia Yim because they showed her NXT matches in Reckoning's video packages before. So it's not like it was a groundbreaking unmasking, but it was still worth mentioning. WWE obviously didn't know this was going to happen because she never really wrestled a match with that mask on, but now they know how easily it comes off. But if she's going to continue to wrestle in a mask, then maybe WWE should consider switching up her mask to something that's more stable and will stay on for the duration of a match. But what are your thoughts on today's wrestling news? Leave your comments. Don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on, and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.